Thank you. Good day to everyone, wherever you're participating from. I'd like to say a big thank you to the Global President, the Deputy President of IEDF, as we transition from the masterclass now to the CDC classes. Leaders, I want to say a big thank you for joining on time today again. Yesterday, we had an amazing session, and I want to give God all the glory. Today, leaders, if you notice, I'm putting on my video, and my video is going to be on all through today's class. And why is that? This is CDC. This is CDC training. We want to make it more interactive. It's different from the master class. So the master class is an information session where we train on our vision, our goal in IEDF. All right. In the CDC, this is a team building session. I want you to give me a thumbs up if you believe so. This is a team building session. In this session, we are more interactive in this session. We need to get to know each other in this session. So you get to know me more in this session. We need to come together. We need to form together. Then we begin to perform together. So that's why my video is on today. And I'm excited because if you are in a comfortable place where you can put on your video, especially maybe where you want to interact, you want to ask a question or you want to get clarity, let's get to know you, introduce yourself, your business, the sector you're in, or even your CDC aspirations. What do you want to do with all the information we have shared today? I just wanted to make that clear as we start. Leaders, once again, thank you for joining the CDC class. It's really amazing to have many of our leaders here. Today is our first session. So it's like the inaugural session for all the CDC classes we'll be having throughout the session for the class. Before we start, let us pray. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to be here today as a team. We are really grateful to have all our leaders on the call again. Thank you so much for seeing us through the masterclass, as many have been participating in the masterclass. And Lord, we have transitioned to the CDC classes. We are really grateful for the journey. It hasn't been a short walk. We thank you for giving us life. We thank you for giving us strength. We thank you for our families. We thank you for everyone who's here, and even the ones who are not here presently. Today, we step into action, Lord, as a team. Give us courage, Lord, give us clarity and the discipline to build what you have placed in our hands. Let every CDC present today be formed. Let all the CDCs become a light to our communities and a force against poverty. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. And all the leaders say, Amen. Amen. Thank you, GP. So, as we all know, in the IEDF culture, we always do our WIFO. So whether be it CDC, whether it be your weekly meetings, when you have your own meetings, you must do WIFO. You must let people express themselves to know, what am I here? Why am I here? What do I want to get out of this meeting? People don't just do things randomly. We are all very intentional and we're all adults. We know what we're doing. So why am I here? And what am I ready to build? That is our why for today. Leaders, let me start by setting the ground rules for the CDC. Everyone is valuable. Every sector is key. Every idea is amazing. Leaders, we are now a team. And we are stuck together. So don't feel shy. Don't feel, don't be biased. Let us engage. What is your WIFO? Leaders, if you want to share your WIFO today, please raise your hand, unmute your mic and talk to us. We have been having leadership training for the past 16 weeks. We should now be comfortable to know the culture in IEDF, our WIFO, and you should be comfortable now to share what your WIFO is. So Right now, I'm not expecting a cold room. I'm expecting an engaging, agile sessions all through our CDC training. With all due respect to everyone on the team, and we with right positive energy, even when you don't understand something, we are here to share, we are here to learn from one another. Remember, I said this is a team building session. Now we need to get our hands dirty because now we need to do the work. So let me hear from you. What is your waifu? Does any leader want to start by raising his or her hand and sharing with us your waifu? Absolutely. Hi, Leader Salome. Please go ahead. Thank you, Leader.
Good morning, leaders. All protocol observed. I stand before this distinguished forum with a clear sense of purpose today and responsibility, aware that my presence here is both an opportunity and a call to action. I'm here to contribute meaningfully to dialogue, to listen with intent, and to share perspectives that can inspire progress and understanding. This platform to me represents more than just discussion. It is a space where ideas are refined. The way I came here before I joined, I'm no longer the same. Partnerships are built and solutions begin to take shape. We are taught of a lot of things that we took for granted as leaders in our homes, in churches, in our workplaces, and in our businesses. Therefore, I bring with me a commitment to integrity, collaboration, and the pursuit of outcomes that extend beyond individual interest. Above all, I'm here to be part of something greater than myself, an effort to drive impact, to foster growth and shape a better future and impact my community and other communities in a positive way. Thank you.
Wow. Leaders, let's give amazing. Leaders, hello. You were so prepared. That is so amazing. Thank you. You are so inspirational. Officially, you are my CDC facilitating partner. You are so amazing. Leader, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You see, leaders, I told you, when we begin to engage, you will find out that we are simply a powerhouse. Did you hear, Leader Salome? This is amazing. Thank you, Leader, for sharing your waifu, for knowing why you're here, what you're bringing on the table, because you're bringing a lot on the table, and how we're going to learn and walk this journey together. Thank you. I want one more leader. I want one more leader to share his or her waifu, and I want this leader to be a gentleman. Please, over to you. Anyone, unmute your mic and let's engage. What is your waifu? There's no man in the room who wants to share his or her waifu? Okay. All right. Can any other woman in the room share their waifu? I must have two leaders share with me their waifu today. Any other woman in the room? Any other person who wants to share? Please go ahead. Your waifu. Leader Girl, GIL, do you want to share, please, your waifu with us? Hello, Leader, are you there? Okay. Oh, the GP wants to share his waifu. Please go ahead.
Leader Mary, I have to stand up for the men. It cannot be.
You better stand up for the men, GP.
In this meeting that does not want to share a waifu. So for the men, I just had to do it.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Leaders, why I'm in this session today is that I'm reminded that Jesus changed the course of history with only 12 disciples. The leaders in the CDC, for me, I wanted to be in this class because this is it's a filter system that was applied over a 16-week period. And your leaders here that have worked this entire journey and has ended up here out of hundreds, if not thousands of leaders that attended the Leadership Masterclass. I'm now in the presence of leaders wanting to execute and not wanting to just talk. So my being in this meeting here today is all about action, and I know that the quality of the leaders in this room are the leaders that are going to change the course of history. So I was really looking forward to today's session, and thank you for all of you for being here, and also to Leader Mary. You did a training session yesterday, and again, sacrificing your time for all of us. I really appreciate you. Thank you, leaders. That's why I'm here today.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, GP. Thank you for that beautiful wifeful. Thank you for also giving us the opportunity, to come together as a team to start up the CDC classes. And men in the room, the GP have saved you. Yes, that's a good team building exercise. Thank you so much, GP. Let's get to the main course for today. Leaders, I just want to first of all talk to you from the bottom of my heart, the journey so far for me. It has been a very engaging journey. I have learned a lot from all the leaders who have spoken in the masterclass, and now transitioning to the CDC classes. Even though the master classes will be taking place, this particular class is a bit different because this is more of application of knowledge. And leaders, I want to learn. I don't want to be the one talking. So I just want to let you know that this is not a Mary thing. This CDC class is not Leader Mary. This is me and you. We as a team, we're going to be talking to each other, building up different concepts for our communities together. We already have the CDC handbook. We'll be sharing it with everyone. So I just wanted to share that from the bottom of my heart, that let's really engage. Can we really change Africa, leaders? Can we? If we can, we need to really engage deeply in the CDC. Can we become very influential in Africa? Yes, we can. If we can, please, when you come to the CDC classes, come prepared to share. Don't come to just listen. Come prepared to share. Come prepared to push us all. Let's push each other to doing something great in our communities. So leaders, that's my why for. That's why I'm here. I'm here to learn from you as we're all learning with each other. So my first slide, the shift. Leaders, the shift. From learning to building. Leader Salome mentioned that to us. From monument to movement. That's why we're here. Second slide, please. From learning to building, from monument to movement. Leaders, we are moving from one great achievement to another. A monument is something people admire. You know that, all right? But a movement is what people join. So beyond admiring and being inspirational in the masterclasses, which many people have been inspired, now we want to work and let people join us in this course. The Leadership Masterclass built understanding, leaders. And I believe many of you are here today because you have gained some appreciable level of understanding of what the IEDF goals, the mandates, the sectoral goals are all about. But the CDC, we build impact in the CDC. So you are not just here to attend a training, all right, leaders, like the masterclass. You have transitioned to the masterclass to this group because we are starting something to change our community. We want to put our ideas together to change our community. Now, what is the truth? A movement grows through people. We need to build people. Leaders build people, not people watching. You are not a leader when you are watching. A movement grows through people building people. So we are here, opportunity to be here, because we've got people to build in our community. So leaders, let's go into the nitty-gritty of what a CDC is. Next slide, please. What is a CDC? What is a CDC? I would like to ask one of the leaders in this group. Remember, I said to us, let us be free to talk from your own perspective. All the while we've been talking in the master classes, what do you really see a CDC is in your own words, in your own understanding? How do you conceptualize a CDC for you? Can any leader share, please? What is a CDC? Any leader. And no answer is wrong. So let's feel free to engage. What is a CDC? Leaders, we need to really work with our timing. So please, let's be agile, be attentive. We're just here for the next 40 to 50 minutes and you can go back to your work. But once you are here, I'd like you to please make sure you're listening so that when I ask questions, you are able to answer. Absolutely. Leader, please go ahead. You just raised your hand.
Good day, everybody. My name is Mati Odlala from South Africa. CDC is a Community Development Committee. To my understanding, it's a committee that we create that has community members that are working together to build or to develop our community. In short, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you, leader. Amazing. Yes, that's what a CDC is. You were absolutely spot on. So a CDC is not a meeting, you know? A CDC is not a meeting. A CDC is a structured leadership system for our community transformation. Let me take it again. A CDC is more than a meeting. I'm going to use the word more than a meeting because in a CDC, there are meetings you have to do. But beyond the meeting, the CDC is a structured leadership system for community transformation. Do you remember yesterday when we spoke, we said leaders organize. Leaders organize. So in a CDC, you sitting with me today, we are the ones organizing a system for community transformation. So we're really going to be learning a lot. I'm really excited about the CDC training. And leaders, let me share something with you. People are people everywhere. People are people everywhere. From this CDC classes, I like what Leader Judith Salome said. She said, we have learned in the master classes, a lot has been brought to our attention of things that we actually took granted for. Now, in these trainings, beyond you just leading community, you're also leading your organization. You are leading in your church. All of this is applied knowledge for us to become better people. I have become a better person through the master classes. Really, I have. So in the CDC training, we will be learning from each other how to lead better, even in our organizations, in our community. You'll become a better pastor if you are a pastor in this training. You'll become a better pastor, a better community leader as we journey together. So a CDC is a structured leadership system for community transformation. Remember when the GP spoke, he said Jesus had 12 disciples. That was his CDC. He started by 12. He did not start from 10,000. No, he needed to find 12 people who, by the Spirit he was at, they could align to his vision. So he started with 12 leaders. But each of these leaders, he divided in teams. And that's why I said to us in this meeting, in these classes, we are a team. The 6 teams of 2, and they began to multiply. That's how we build our CDC. So in this training, remember, this is an introductory class. So I'm not going to run, on a speed dial. I'm going to take it easy so that we all are together. And by the time we come into other classes, we start building on what we have. So be rest assured that this is a journey and not a short walk. So just relax and flow with me. So it is critical that we're not growing crowd. Like I said, Jesus did not start with a crowd. You are not growing crowd, but you are multiplying. Multiplication is an intentional systemic structure to enter through your influence of what exactly the goal you want to achieve. I'm going to say that again. You use your influence, develop a structure, all right? And then you enter the system in your community, depending on the particular goal you want to achieve. That's how multiplication works. You don't just come out and you organize people. They will just be a crowd, but they're not with you. You are not multiplying. And multiplication is intentional because there is an agenda. Whatever you're doing without an agenda, you are just having an event. And at the end of the day, people just go. It really doesn't transform. Remember, our goal is to transform our community. So we've got our CDC handbook, leaders. I know we'll be having these masterclasses, but remember, we'll be sharing from our different perspective in the masterclasses. It's going to be very engaging, but we encourage you. We will share the CDC handbook in the CDC group so that you go over the handbook. When we come together, we begin to speak from what we have learned in the handbook, and we see how we can improve our CDC processes. So instead, as stated in our handbook, a CDC exists to move communities from talk to action. A CDC exists, your CDC will exist to move communities from talk to action. So why is CDC solutions to poverty? I like to ask any leader on the call, why do you think the CDC is a solution to poverty? Next slide, that's my slide 3. Why do you think a CDC is a solution? Just in your own words, leaders, just in your own words. Unmute your mic and share. Why do you think so? We've been talking about CDC through other masterclasses. Now we are here, we're talking about CDC. Why do you think CDCs are solutions to solving challenges in our communities, the solutions in our communities against poverty? Can any leader share? Can any leader share? Please go ahead, Leader Ronald. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Greetings, everyone. I think CDC is bringing solutions to the problems that we go through because we take time to learn from one another. And also, it gives us a platform to know that what I'm going through, I'm not alone. Even other people are going through the same. So there's that comfort in knowing that things will be better if we work together as leaders. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, leader. And leaders, Leader Ronald, you still have to unmute your mic quickly. When you are sharing, when you want to answer a question, I'd like to know where you're participating from. I'd like to know what sector. Just give us 1 second brief of who you are, because remember, we need to know each other. This is CDC training. We need to know one another. So once we are answering questions, just let us know. Like Leader Salome said, I'm from Soweto, from South Africa, and just share with us in a brief who you are. Thank you so much, Leader Ronald, for that answer. Absolutely. Why CDCs are solution to poverty? Poverty is not lack of money, leaders. Poverty is lack of structure. Poverty is lack of leadership. Let us begin to think, because you might be the president of your country tomorrow. Poverty is lack of structure. Poverty is lack of leadership. Poverty is when we do not have opportunities, and poverty comes because there's no coordination. So in CDC, we are building structure, we are building leadership, we're creating opportunities, and we are coordinating for transformation. So that is why the CDC is a solution to poverty in our communities. In CDCs, we bring leaders together, like we're doing now. All right? So technically, this could be my CDC or our CDC, all right? Even though we are more than 12 here, but we can replicate ourselves in the CDC. I'm just using that as an example. So we're bringing leaders together. We're creating structures in our community. And what does that structure mean? It means you know that everyone in the community have a certain skill. So for instance, you've got a CDC, you say, okay, this is a CDC for the disabled. in your community, the CDC for carpenters, the CDC. So everyone, there is different sectors within a CDC or different endeavors within a CDC that comes together to build that community. So we create the structures, and then we begin to activate opportunities. What opportunities do we see around? You know, leaders, in my years of training, I have found that when you bring people together, you are bringing great minds. Forget about whether they are learned or they are not learned. Somebody is seeing something you are not seeing. Somebody knows something you don't know. Somebody has influence where you don't have influence. So when you bring people together and you are a leader who can organize a CDC together, you'll be amazed the input you will get for the development of your community. It's just that they have never been brought together. If you're with me, I need to see your thumbs up. They have never been brought together. And that is the reason why they've never really put in their ideas structurally to a particular intervention in our communities. So leaders, don't joke with the people around you. Don't joke with the people around you. They could be the greatest resources you have. You just need to learn how to bring them together. So we bring leaders together. We create structures in our community. Then we begin to activate opportunities. We drive weekly actions. We drive weekly action. And what is the impact of that in our community? 1, business growth. Youths get direction. Sometimes in life, people want to be led. There are people who are not self-led. If you agree with me on that. There are people who are not self-led. They've got the skills, they've got the information, they can do so much, but they can't lead themselves. Somebody must lead them. It's you and I. So youths get direction. Women are empowered in our communities. Communities become organized. Communities, so you see, leaders, impact is not far-fetched. Through these trainings we'll be having in weeks, we can actually see how we can make impact literally in our communities. So I'm really excited, and we're going to be learning from each and every one of you. Today, I'm just taking the introductory class. By next week, you and I will be facilitating together. All right. So, and that is how our Vision 2030 becomes real. When we learn how to organize in our communities, our Vision 2030 becomes real. Next slide, please. All right, leaders, we are proceeding. I'd like to pause a little, just in 1 second, and get to hear from just one leader. What are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts so far of what we have just discussed? What are your thoughts so far? As CDC becoming a solution in our communities, how do you see yourself applying this in your community? Can I hear from a leader, please? Remember, I told you, we got to get ready to communicate in the CDC classes, all right? So leaders, please raise your hand and share. What are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts so far? Can anybody share? What are your thoughts so far, leaders? Anyone? I want to come back to Leader Jill, G-I-L. Can you share with us your thoughts so far on CDC becoming a solution in our community? Please go ahead, Leader. And Leader Buta, you do that. Over to you, Leader Jill, if you can. But there's another leader raising.
Yes. Yeah, no. Yes, good morning or good afternoon that side first, and my apologies for linking in late. But so far on the point that I have found as I join in, it is incredible. So making me to think of a role model, for instance, as a leader, it's very impressive to know that whatever you are doing to somebody, or as you are doing the presentation, or as you are leading the people, for sure, you do not know that people are learning and people are actually getting something from you. For me, this is very exciting. So what I'm thinking is, in whatever I'm doing, then I have to do it with the faith, with the belief that somebody there is learning, and that means it cautions me to do it right. It cautions me to do it well, positive, so that people they learn the right and a positive role model from me. I think that is what I believe from the point number 4 that I got now, that I have to always be consistent in doing what is good, positive, so that other people are looking at me, they get to me to learn also what is good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, leader. Thank you. And thank you, leader, for putting on your video. So good to meet with you. Thank you. Amazing. So leaders, one of the key things I've taken away from Leader Buta is role modeling. As a CDC leader, you are a role model. You see, people will never work with you when you do not walk the talk. So it gives you a sense of responsibility that you are not more living your life in that community for yourself when you are building CDC. You see, that's what he's just trying to share with us. Whatever he's doing, he's thinking about somebody is watching me. I don't speak just for myself. I'm speaking for people in this community. So I am a role model. So it means that by the end of the CDC sessions, leaders would have all become amazing role models. In fact, we will have that mindset that we are role models in our communities. So please, leaders, I really want to share with you that invite many people to join the CDC trainings, because we need to reshape our mindset of how we see ourselves. We need to stop seeing ourselves as needy citizens in our communities or in our countries. We must begin to see ourselves as leaders who can make meaningful contribution. And Leader Salome taught us that this morning. Who can make meaningful contributions, and we are truly role models. So let me move to my 4th slide, which talks about the CDC structure. Leaders, we've been able to establish what the CDC is. We've been able to establish how CDCs can really fight poverty in our communities. So how do we now, what are the structures in the CDC? Structure number 1, the chairperson. All of this is in the handbook we'll be sharing with you. The chairperson. Remember, the structure is 12 because Jesus had 12 disciples. So the chairperson, which is you and I, that is the leader of the CDC. He gives direction. He has he's already done a research of the challenges in the community. He's got the burden and the call to make a change. Remember, we don't just do anything in IEDF. You must be called. The reason why you're here today, leaders, is because you are called. So you are the chairperson. And you replicate yourself. Any other person who owns a CDC becomes or starts a CDC becomes a chairperson. The secretary. Remember, we talked about organizing. Okay? The secretary of the CDC, who organizes, take minutes, makes sure, follow up, feedback, on what is happening in the CDC. We've got the treasurer because we need resources. What is our budget for just that little program? Maybe we want to have it in a church for a start, or in a garage for a start. Remember, we're going to be sharing with you, we're going to be bringing leaders to talk to you about how they started their CDCs. You don't need to start in a flashy way. No, you just start from where you are. You start from where you are. But we must always consider our resources. Remember, leaders, resources is not only money. Resources are the people, the machines, the techniques, whatever it is we need. We need somebody who can manage all of that in our CDC. Then we've got the CDC leaders for execution. Now, your 12 leaders for execution. Leaders, one of the key things you must know is that you are not a leader when you are leading alone. When you look back and nobody is following you, you're not a leader. You're just leading yourself. So nobody works alone. I've got leaders, as I'm training here, I've got leaders in this call with me. Nobody works alone. Somebody must have your back. So everyone works in teams of 2. Do you see? Everyone in our CDC works in teams of 2 to support one another. Now, what does a team of 2 mean? It means that if you've got a chairperson, you must have a deputy chairperson. If you've got a secretary, you must have a deputy secretary. If you've got a treasurer, you must have a deputy treasurer. Why is that possible? Why is that important? Because when you have teams of 2, in that particular portfolio, you've got somebody who is thinking with you. All right. You must have somebody who is thinking with you, somebody who you can share, brainstorm with before you present to the bigger team. And that's how Jesus also led. Remember, he sent his disciples in 2s. I remember when Leader Ronald was teaching us in the masterclass, Leader, you mentioned that explicitly, how Jesus sent. Why didn't he send in 1s? Because you will never get validation or confirmation of what you want to do when you're alone. But at least when you've got a partner, the Bible says 2 is better than 1. So 2 is better than 1. So that's why you must have a chairperson and a deputy chairperson for direction. You must have a secretary and a deputy secretary. You must have a treasurer and a deputy treasurer. You must have a sector leaders for execution. It creates support leaders. It creates accountability. Somebody must be watching you to say, yes, you're on track, or no, restrain your step here. It helps with accountability and it builds speed leaders. When one leader is not available, the deputy is available. Remember, we are building structures and systems. Let's move to the next slide. So leaders, we want to share with you the multiplication principle in the CDC. I want to get a thumbs up if you're following. Can I get a thumbs up if you're together? You can give me a thumbs up if you're confused. I don't want to use the word confused. You can never be confused. Leaders, please, in our CDCs, don't say you are confused. Just ask for more clarity. You can never be confused. All right. Thank you so much for that thumbs up. If you need me to pause and you still need more clarity, we will do that, working with our time. But we are absolutely on time. Thank you, leaders. Thank you for that thumbs up. So we are together. We're looking at now the multiplication principle. Remember, each team of 2 starts another CDC. So each leader, each teams of 2, remember, we build another 12 leaders. That's how we multiply. Each team of 2. So I give an instance, I and Reno Ronald, we start up at CDC, we get to 12, we have leaders and structures. We send another 2 to go start. That team of 2 begins to replicate themselves in that community. That's how we begin to grow. That's how we begin to grow. So that's the growth principle in our structure in our CDC. And we send each team of 2 so it doesn't become hectic. Then 12 replicates itself and we become 144. All right? So we become 144. Now, this is just a framework to show you that multiplication is possible. Now, somebody will ask, is this a scheme? No, it's not. What's the thing we call it? It's not a scheme. Leaders, you cannot lead without multiplying. Even in your business, even in your personal business, you cannot say my business is only in Soweto and you don't want to replicate that business in another, and in another province or in another community. That is what growth is all about. Growth is about multiplication. As a married couple, you don't get married and you say, we want to do just me and you, except that's what you want. If you want to multiply, you've got to have children, isn't it? So in our CDCs, we need to have children. We need to multiply ourselves. Your mindset everywhere in your community. From this local community, you are moving to other communities in that province or in that county, however your structure is in your country. That's how we multiply. So we start by 2, We multiply, we gather more people based on your influence. Leaders, I want to say this to you. You must know your power game. What is your power? What is your level of influence? You need to build it to really build a formidable CDC. You need to be a person of influence. You need to build your people management skill. You see, nobody's going to follow you just because they love your face. They'll follow you because you understand the challenges the community is facing. You've got that influence. You've got that willpower. You've got that charisma. You've got that calling upon you to make a change. Once you speak with fire in your eyes, that's why I said in these classes, I want to see you. We need to see the fire in our eyes to know that we really want to make a change. And we're not just here to just listen. All right. So once you see the fire once people see the fire for change in your eyes, you are transmitting something to them and they are ready to follow you. All right. So that is what leadership is all about. So leaders, we begin to multiply ourselves from the principle of 2. We build more leaders, we put our structures together. From that principle to 12, from that principle, that 12 begins to multiply to 14. This starts with just you and the next person who you have trained, who you have seen, who is called to work with you. Leaders must work with people aligned with them. Before I took up the role of leadership training, I met the president. You see, I want to share my personal life experiences because we're not just here to just speak from the slides and I'm sharing with you, you're seeing it, but I want to see your personal leadership life experiences. Leaders are made for this. This is what God has brought me to this world to do, and I've identified it. I've always been a people person. I've always looked for solutions, and I will go all out to do it. I had a training yesterday, and I'm having another training now. I can still do another training tomorrow. It's my calling. It's beyond pay me for it. It's what bubbles in my spirit. That's me. So leaders, that's who you have to be. That's who you have to. People know when you are called. It's not lip service. They know when you are called. So you need to transmit that energy. You need to transmit that energy to your CDC, to people you are going to be recruiting to work with you. We can do this. You need to make them believe in the vision. That's how multiplication comes. And people will begin to talk like you, think like you, act like you, and transformation starts in our community. I think that's one of the challenges we have in Africa. We don't want to build. We just want to dictate leadership. It's not done. It's not done. So leaders, take this same template and use it even in your personal businesses. Can people lead like you in your organization? We've talked about that in the master classes. Can they lead like you? Can they think like you? Oh no, this is how the boss will be thinking if this case scenario. Can they think like you? So leaders, get ready to multiply yourself. Get ready to be a role model like Leader Buta had mentioned to us. Next slide, please. I need that emoji coming through so that I'm sure we are together. Thank you. Leaders, we're wrapping up for today. Remember our CTASA. Now we are coming into action. I want to share with us leaders, and I'm going to open the floor for you to also share with me from your leadership, what you've done in your community, what you want to do. How do you see yourself calling people? Can you really call people? Do you have a level of influence in your community, to begin to call people to work with you to make a change? So in our CTASA model, we have learned that C is call. I've just mentioned to you now, I am called. I couldn't do this if I wasn't called, leaders. I wouldn't do this if I wasn't called. Man is a spirit. When you meet somebody, your spirit connects to say, I think I can work with this person. All right? Man is a spirit. So leaders, you must work with people. You must have that insight to identify people who are called to work with you. You don't necessarily have to work with everyone, but there are definitely people who are called to you. And that's why we're all here. We are called. That's why we are connecting. Leaders, you will never be here for CDC training after yesterday with your time if you're not called. You are here because you are called. So don't think, oh, am I called? Am I not called? You're already called because you're here. You are called to build others. You now need to identify the calling upon other people around you. Leaders, I never knew I could do this. Of course, I've been doing this, but not in this capacity. Somebody saw me and gave me the opportunity. Can you look at others? Can you see people and also give them an opportunity? Yes, you can. So we are called. You are not here by accident. Now, when you are called, leaders, we need to be trained. And that's why we're on this call. You also need to train people. That's why we're going to be sharing with you the handbook. Use it and begin to train others. People must be equipped before. Even in your personal organization, I do not think you hire anyone without training them. There's a way you work. There's a way you want to have your outcomes. So you got to train people. Leaders, let's get ready. I declared all of us, if you were here yesterday, I declared all of us facilitators, trainers, okay? So we need to train and equip people in our communities. We need to train them, train their mindset to think solution and not complain. No matter the challenges you have faced, if you're a woman leader here, no matter the challenges that woman has faced in her community, she can make a change. She can pick up herself again. If it is a youth, as long as you've got breath in your nostril, there is an opportunity for you. You don't give up. We need to train people to fight for what they believe, fight for their communities, fight for themselves to become better. So leaders, we need to train people. Authority. We need to give people authority. Trust people to lead. It would have been easy for the global president who is here on the call to take this class. Why shouldn't he? But he trusts me. And that's why I'm doing this. So you need to trust others. You need to trust them once you've trained them. People will not always do things the best way you want them to, but just give them the opportunity to be themselves. Give them the opportunity to learn while doing the work. So let's trust people we are training to do the work. It's also going to relieve you because you're not always going to be there. Let me get that emojis if you believe that. You're not always going to be there. If you are working, you are building your institution to always be there, you have failed. You have failed already. So trust people to do the work because you have trained them, you have equipped them. Remember our CTASA. Leaders, these are things we shouldn't ever take for granted. It works in our families. It works in our community. CTASA works for you in your business. It works for our government, for everything we're doing. All right. Accountability. People must report. People must report. People must. So leaders, when we come to you to say, oh, how is your CDC doing? Can we get your secretary to give us a report? Don't feel agitated. You got to be accountable because it's a system. It's a system. You can't run CDCs like you're running you're running whatever it is. There is a structure we have put in place. Accountability is part of that structure. So we must be accountable. And that's the reason why if we build this mindset, even when you lead in many other platforms and God gives you opportunity to lead in many other spheres, you must teach people to be accountable. Accountability is something we don't like doing as human beings, but it's part of leadership. It's part of building a structure. You must give accounts for what you are doing. There must be measures to say, I'm making progress, or measures to say, I need to put in more pressure, I need to do more work. So let's be comfortable with being accountable for what we are going to be doing or what you're already doing right now in your CDC. Slide 6, leaders. I'm moving to slide 6, leaders. I hope we're together. All right, I'm just going to run through so that you then Tell me what you think. What are the high notes for you? What concepts are you coming? You should be writing your ideas. God is going to be giving you ideas of what you'll be doing in your community. You need to start putting them down. Leaders, remember, anything you write, you will always be able to retrieve. So please begin to write what you are being inspired right now. The viscera, okay. That's my slide 6. Every CDC must operate with vision. What problems are we solving? You must have a vision, leaders. What problem are we solving? Okay, our slides are back. Thank you. What problem are we solving? Leaders, let our problem be research-based. Let it be a problem you have gathered data for. Data is currency. I wish you can unmute your mic and say that, but you can give me a thumbs up if you agree. Data is currency. Whatever you're doing and you don't have data, you are not, your impact is just vague. Data is currency. So you must be solving real problems. Skill. What are people learning? What skills do we need for this problem? That's the viscera. What skills do we need to solve this problem? All right, incentives. Why will people join? Leaders, in the course of our CDC, we're going to be talking about motivation. What motivates you? Is it money? Is it influence? Is it power? Is it servants? Is it servanthood? You must identify what motivates you. You see, your motivation is your lifeline. Do you know that there are people who cannot die because there's something motivating them to live? The reason why people die is because nothing is motivating them to lead. So leaders, you must identify why people must join. Incentives. We must give people their why. That's why when we come to IEDF meetings, we ask you your why. What is your motivation? Why are you here? So why will people join your CDC? You must be able to identify that. As we begin to run through, because our time is going, resources. What do we have to work? Where can we go to find resources? We need money. We need money to build our communities. Leaders, in our CDC training, there will be no elephant in the room. We will dissect everything we need to do to make our CDCs work. Then what is our action plan? What do we need to do this week? It could just be one little action. Planning, recruiting, initiating, sharing your idea with someone. That's already an action. You're sharing your idea. That's initiation. Oh, Leader David, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Do you want to work with me on this? You have already initiated. And in our handbook, we have how to go about it. So in our handbook, if it is not written, it did not happen. If you don't have an action plan, it's not written down. Even the Bible says, write the vision down. Make it plain so that people can read and they can run with you. So your action plan is very key. And that's what the viscera does for you. Leaders, I encourage you that after these sessions, please, when we share the handbook, please go ahead. Even if it's just today's session, just read through from the handbook and then you keep it, and we begin to proceed. Just so that all that we're talking about will definitely sink. How do you start your CDC? Slide 7. How to start your CDC. It is critical. All right. Decide to lead. That's the first thing. Leadership is a decision. Decide to lead. And you are here because you have decided. And thank you for being here. Thank you for still being here. You haven't left the call as we're rounding up. Leadership is a decision. Number 2, complete the masterclass. Remember, leaders, we're talking about system. So when we tell you these things, it's because there's a system we're trying to put in place. By the time we are all old and we leave IEDF, we retire, this system will still be there. The next generation, they come into IEDF, they will see the system, they will follow through. So that's why these things are built for us. Complete the masterclass. You must get to understand what servant leadership is all about. Then the 3, identify leaders. Leaders are people who are called to see the potentials in others. Leaders, begin to work on yourself to see potentials in others. That's the only way you can identify leaders. Nobody is perfect. You just need committed people. All right? There are people who are there. They are just there. Leaders are people who are available. Somebody else can do what I'm doing in a more perfect professional way. But Mary's available, and that's why you're listening to her. That's what leadership is all about. No one is perfect. You only need committed people. Leaders build relationships. Build relationships. Build people to be committed to you. All right. So, therefore, begin to invite them, leaders. Invite them. Invite them to attend your meeting, to share. You're just sharing your views about what the challenges are in your communities and how I think we can do A, B, C, D. I have a leader in my sector who is already doing this. Do you know my leader in Uganda is inviting people of all religious background. When a system works, nobody cares about what religion you are from. Everybody wants their community to work. So leaders, let's engage with everyone in our community to work with us to make a difference. So invite people. If they believe in your vision, they will work with you. All right. Then we have your first meeting. We'll be sharing with you how our meetings are. Remember, we want to replicate the same CDC. I want to come to Zambia, and the way you are holding your CDC meeting is the way the leader in Uganda is holding a CDC. Leader, that's a movement. A movement is a unification of a way of work. If you believe that, let me see your thumbs up. That's a movement. We are doing the same thing. It's a unification. The same CDC in Zambia is the same. In Togo is the same, in Botswana is the same structure, the same way of handling meeting. That is a movement. So you invite them, then you have your first meeting, which is your vision, where you're going to be talking about the vision of the CDC. We have the grid, all right? You'll see it in the handbook. Then your structure, which is your chairman, your secretary. You just share with them what the structure of your CDC is all about. Leaders, we're about to round up. Then you begin to assign roles. Clarity, it's very important. Like I said, in this CDC, we will not be confused because we will give clarity. You give clarity. You are there to answer questions and help people to understand what their roles are. Now, the last is you register your CDC. You register your CDC with us in the IEDF. We'll be sharing with you the link where you register your CDC, what your CDC is all about. Why is registration very important? It's important because we are developing a community of CDCs. We need to know what you are doing. You can't work in isolation. And remember, data is currency. Registration of CDC gives us data. As IEDF and as a global community, that you are doing something there, we can refer to your work. We can get you a partner to work with you. That's why the registration is important. So leaders, let's never be tired of doing the right thing. Let's be role models. Okay, remember, we'll be sharing with you the handbook as we round up, and you, one or two persons, will be sharing with me what you have, gained from today's session. So weekly discipline, where most of us will fail, but we are not going to fail. We won't, because we're going to hold each other's hands. Leaders, I want you to be very comfortable. You don't have to get it right the first time. It's a journey and not a short walk. We will hold ourselves accountable. We'll work with ourselves together as a CDC. Thank God we have a WhatsApp group. You will share your pain, your challenges. Somebody will be there to share his experience and help you walk through this journey together. So you start strong and then you stop. Motivation. You need to keep motivating yourself. All right, leaders? Leadership is not a very everyday amazing journey. Sometimes you'll be tired. And that's why I said to you, you must really be motivated and you must work with teams. You must have somebody who will motivate you. The day you are tired, another leader says, no, this vision, we'll work on it. Let's have our meeting. But if you're alone, nobody is there to encourage you. All right. So you start strong, then you stop. That's not you. I want you to give me a thumbs up if that is not you. That's not me. You are not going to stop because you are building something bigger than you. Your weekly meetings are very important when we start up our CDC. Remember, leaders, when you have your meeting, it doesn't necessarily need to be high level. It could just be an initiation meeting, but report it. Report it. Just say something. I'm doing this consistently. The most important thing about progress is showing up. Keep showing up. Keep doing it. And that becomes your brand. If you start today and then tomorrow you stop, you're never going to achieve anything. You keep showing up. All through the master classes, we kept showing up. And I want to thank the team. We kept showing up. Today, we have a CDC. What if we started and then tomorrow you hear, oh, we're not going to be there tomorrow. And then we're there the next day. And then we're not going to be there the next time. It doesn't work that way. So leaders, we must keep showing up. You must keep motivating yourself, and you report weekly, and your actions, you action weekly. Leaders, I'd like you to share as I stop. So in our meetings, we must pray. Remember, we always pray in our meetings. Now we're sharing with you this because it just shows you the methodology of our IEDF meetings. Prayer. Whether everyone in that meeting are Muslims, they pray. Whether they are Christians, we pray. Prayer is key because we are influenced by a higher power to lead, and we recognize that. We've got our CDC grid, is in the handbook. You'll see it. We read the grid together. All right. We report. What are we doing as a team? What are you doing? What are you doing? I have my meeting today, and we're definitely using this. Actions. What are your challenges? 4, what are your challenges? Leaders, let people be free to share their pain. Remember, you're dealing with human beings. They will always have challenges. And even in these sessions we're going to be having with you, share with us. What are your challenges in running your CDC in your country or your community? There's another leader that could share with you the way out of that challenge. We must have action plan. By the time we share, there must be a next step. What are we going to do to address these challenges or to move forward? And we look forward to multiplication. When something works, others will join. So definitely we'll have to multiply. Leaders, as I round up, what is your role as a CDC leader? As I round up, you are not a title holder. We don't believe in title. And that's why you don't see us we all call ourselves leaders because that's who we are. You don't see ourselves calling ourselves leader, doctor, or leader, lawyer, All we know is that we're leaders. We're not really, we don't run IEDF, title based. No, we are all leaders. Even when you run your CDC, everyone in your CDC is a leader. So we are not just title holders. We are leaders who build, we multiply, and we solve problems. We are servants. We solve problems. So leadership is not about feeling important. It's about being useful to others. So that's how we roll in our CDC. So when our CDCs function correctly, communities become organized, informal businesses begin to grow, youth find direction, families are stabilized, and opportunities are created. Leaders, have shared with you a lot of information today, but I know something caught your attention. Something caught your attention. So within the next 7 days, let's start something. Let's build something. Let's begin to initiate. Let's begin to pray. Let's start writing the vision down. Let's begin to plan together. Thank you so much, leaders. I believe there is something you have learned from today's session. As we round up, I'd like 2 leaders just to share with us what is it that really caught your attention today. And do you see yourself doing this? Leaders, please unmute and share. as we round up? Leader Buta, do you still want to share with us? You came in a bit late, but now you've heard so much. Do you want to share, Leader Buta? Are you still there, Leader?
Yes, I'm still here, Leader Mari. So can you just repeat again the question? I was just a little bit distracted. Yeah.
Oh, sorry for being distracted. So we have learned a lot. We've spoken a lot. I just wanted to hear from you. Apart from being a role model, what else did you pick from this session? I know you're going to read the handbook, but what else really impressed you, while we're talking about building our CDCs? Any one word from you?
Yeah, sure. Of course, I've learned a lot. I've learned about the whole meaning of, for instance, synthesis. When you went through it, there is a call and train. Then we have authority, accountability, and
Yeah.
so actually, then one way also is to say that then as a leader, we are then there to be able to not to be vulnerable, but to actually to be there to be able to keep others, and as you are in keeping yourself, then that is then synthesis, and then also giving authority as well, trusting the people that you're leading. I think it then comes with the how you as a leader, you really want to work with people, and we're talking about cooperation, and cooperation comes with a common interest, which then once you all believe it, then you start then trusting, because then you explain to them. I like the way Leader Mari, you say that trust come within allowing the other person to do exactly what you were supposed to do. Like you give an example of you giving this presentation here while we are having the present in a call or in a meeting. That is actually because you are presenting, because you are trusted to do the work. Then trusting it results, it gives birth to effective work environment between you and the other CDCs or other people in the community that you're dealing with. I think that is what I got it, and yeah, I got a lot, but maybe I would give others a chance to say something.
Give others a chance. Thank you so much, Leader. Amazing. Thank you so much. I've also learned that from you. Absolutely, you trust people and you give them opportunity to do what you could have been doing. Yes, thank you so much. It's always beautiful to lead from behind. You watch your people and say, yeah, that's my girl. You say, that's my guy. She's doing good. That's what leadership is all about. It's not always about you. Thank you so much for sharing, Leader. All right, leaders, that is the close for today. Now you have been sent. Go into your communities. Leaders, let's find our 12. Let's build our teams. Let's come again next Thursday as we begin to learn. We'll be engaging more with leaders to speak for us in this CDC training. Share your experience. Talk to us from your perspective, your personality, the way you will present. It sends a different set of message. When I get another leader to do this, you will definitely get another perception of what the CDC is all about. So that's what opportunities are when we engage together. So don't wait for perfect conditions, leaders. Nah, you don't need permission, leaders. The solution in your community is waiting for you to take it up and build others to work with you. God bless you, leaders. Let's look forward to next week. Let's continue in this momentum. We did it in the masterclass. We can do it again in the CDC sessions. Let's continue to engage and let's begin to hear your success stories in our CDC group. Leaders, together we can. God bless you and see you